Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here today. This is my first ever speed build that I am uploading to YouTube, so cheers to that. I really hope you guys enjoy today's video, but more importantly, I hope that we can create a really nice safe space here on this channel. If that's something that you're looking for, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like on the video because that's how I know that you guys are enjoying it. And if you leave a comment, you can tell me whether or not I should do this in the future or if I should just go F off. Either way, leave me a comment. I hope to see you guys down there. And yeah, let's get into this build. Let me tell you a little bit about what is going on here and what I decided to do with this build and kind of what inspired it. Going into this one, I knew that I wanted to create a house that is something that I would see in my old hometown where I grew up. And there was a lot of these older homes that you would find in the historical district of town, you know, just like these old houses that were built in the 1900s. And you would go in them, the floors would creak, you know, they were so grand and beautiful. Normally they would have 2, 3, or 4 stories. 4 stories being like a basement and then 3 stories up top. But they always had these gorgeous front porches that were very interesting to look at, just visually interesting because they had little divots or they would be connected to an awning. You know, I think a part of Southern culture, especially in having these porches, is a lot of people just like to spend time outside and just enjoying the nice weather when we get that. Also, gardening and plants. Part of family and growing up is spending time outside on the front porch or on the back porch. Yeah, I wanted to build something that was reminiscent of the old family home of my grandmother's. And her house was literally built like in the early 1900s. Then later, my mom went on to own a very, very old house, kind of like this. And she's so much of a gardener and a horticulturist that she's always playing in dirt. Part of like playing this game and building this house, I'm always thinking of my mom. You know, I'm thinking about, you know, how would she have set this up on the lawn? How would she have put these planters in the front? And just, you know, using those visual components to decorate the front so that, you know, as you're playing, it feels more lived in. It feels like a house that you actually could be a part of and that you know somebody is in that house that really, really loves to take care of those plants. I mean, there's just so much love that goes into these homes with these manicured lawns. Landscaping, particularly with like plants and other decor items outside, something that has helped me. And let me just say this preface, I'm not that good at it. So if you're watching and you want to know kind of what I do personally, is I like to have a base layer of plants. So start out with just like a few things lined up here and there that you're like, okay, this is the general area that I want the plants to be in, or the general layout. So then when you have your layout, that's like, think of it as like your foundation. And then I will go in and start to layer more and more plants, different heights, different colors, different textures, things that are going to complement one another, that you can still see what is happening within the plants, because you don't want to have plants in there that you can't see. So only add in a plant if it adds height, volume, density, or add some type of value to the scene, and then start to move up. Like you can see what I've done in here is I added one that is like vertical, and I've added some that are like the little bushy ones. I've added some that are more really like low to the ground, look like just grass. And yeah, you can just start to add in these things one at a time. It does take time. You know, if you're trying to do a very fast build with not a lot of detail, then honestly, you don't want to spend a lot of time on it. And the more detail that you want, it requires you to sit there and continue pouring more and more and more time to it. That's just what art is. I've realized that now as I've gotten older, is that the only way for your lots to look more lived in is you have to spend time adding in those little details. And, you know, when I was younger, I didn't really care. I was just like, no, I just need something simple because I want to have more time playing like my characters and fulfilling like storylines. So I didn't care about it so much when I was younger. Most of what I love about The Sims is genuinely the builds. I've always been a huge fan of design and architecture and creating an experience for someone. There's beauty in the dynamics of navigating a house. So architecturally, it's so fascinating to play with this stuff. And I think from a young age, that's what drew me in so much, was that you can build these extravagant homes. You can build trailers, which I grew up in a trailer house personally. It's also called a manufactured home. There's so many ways to explore your creativity with The Sims. I used to be so obsessed back in the day with like making all the houses that I ever lived in and trying to figure out the layouts that they were and how I existed within them, and trying to remember the little teeny tiny details of those houses. That was always such a fun thing for me to do. I don't know, like you guys have probably done that too. And then also when you're younger, you just like constantly make little characters that look like you. Like I always did that. I know that I'm preaching to the choir. I always felt like I was my own little architect. I'm just sharing with you guys basically the background of why I love these games so much. And I know like everybody that plays The Sims kind of has that thing in common. That's why a lot of us love The Sims, is because of the creativity and the access to these really cool experiences that we would otherwise not have. I have been playing Sims since Sims 1. We got our first ever computer at the age of 11, and I begged my parents forever, like probably for about a year. I was like, please, can we get The Sims? Because I was seeing it at the Walmart on these like really tall vertical stands, and I was like, I need that game. I just knew in my heart that I was gonna love it. Then one day my dad brings home the game, and sure enough, I freaking fell in love. I remember so many things from Sims 1. All the classic, you know, interface things that are so antiquated at this point. But I mean, it's just such a huge part of my memory as a kid. And then Sims 2 came out, and Sims 3 and Sims 4. I played all of them. I loved all of them. Of course, like some things are going to be better than others, or everybody has their preference. Honestly, it has truly made me who I am today. I thought when I was younger that I was just gonna be an architect or something. I'm glad that I had those big dreams as a kid. I really do. You know, sometimes I look back and I'm like, yeah, I was just autistic. That's really this was such a wonderful way to keep my mind busy and also creative and stimulated. Every single time a new Sims game would come out, you just didn't know the power that that was going to have on society and just the way that it consumes us as PC gamers. I sincerely love this game so much. As I work, I'm trying to actively work on the cohesiveness of my filming. Trust me, I am so conscious of it now. The first and second video that I filmed myself building houses, it was such a shit show. Genuinely, I was so scared. I was like, nobody's gonna understand this video because I'm so all over the place. The way I decorate, I'm just constantly going from room to room. But then when I watch these pro YouTubers building Sims builds all the time, they are so meticulous about sticking to a room and then like making it all perfect and then moving on to the next one. And I think that probably just like takes time and conditioning, and I'm so sorry in advance if anything I do on here doesn't make any sense. But I think so far I've done okay, because this specific video, I was like, no, I have to make sure to film this a little bit better so that it makes sense visually later. As you can see, I've got most of the framework down now, and I'm just trying to kind of fill in the details of the exterior of the house. And really going into it, I had no idea like what roof color I wanted to do or what paint colors I wanted to do. I was just winging this, and I think it turned out really, really good. The main design style that I tried to keep consistent on the exterior of the house is just clean, kind of updated, like somebody bought the old house and came in and just like updated it and fixed up some things, like spruced it up, made the garden really pretty, and just freshened it up a little bit. I do see it a lot with some of the houses that I'm talking about, like from my old hometown. A lot of them become really dilapidated over the years, and it's just so sad to see them get completely wrecked by nature. And then, you know, if somebody doesn't step in and invest money into updating it, then they just really get worn down. Even though I did go with like a more plain exterior paint, I figured that this would be like a great foundation and opportunity to really spruce up the outside with other decor and, you know, making it feel really, really classic still. I don't know about you, but The Sims 4 has an extremely horrible palette for their paint swatches. And like, I mean, all of their swatches for indoor, outdoor, whatever kind of paint stuff, it's all disgusting. And I feel the majority of it looks so run down. Just not a lot of great options, right? I can imagine a house like this being on a very quiet street in a neighborhood that is just like all the neighbors know each other and are friends. Because I wanted this to be a home that is multi-generational and you can raise your kids in, the backyard should be a place where everybody can get together and hang out, and there should be room for a lot of people, not just one or two. I want this to be a place where, you know, 5, 6, 7 people can be standing out here comfortably and it just feels natural. Like, I mean, come on, look at it. This would be a great place to have a party. I need you guys to tell me, do you want me to tell story times while we do these speed builds, or would you prefer to me walking you through the logistics of what went through my head while I was building such and such or designing this and that? I'm always open to feedback and criticism. If there's something that I'm doing that you think there's like an easier way, a faster way, please feel free to say it in the comments. Or if there's a way of filming that you like, if you don't like the format that I'm doing, just you guys tell me what you want, because I'm here for you. And also, I'm still learning. Checking back in with you in the game, I can see that I'm in my backyard and I am creating a space that I would really personally love to live in. Just this very warm, cozy, it's not too big, but it's not too small either. I love having trees in there to create some shade personally. As I was building the back porch, at first I didn't know if I was going to have an awning, but I decided last minute that yes, I am going to just do an awning, because if I want to sit on my back porch, talk with my family or friends, I want to sit out in the shade. Also, this safe haven for somebody that is a gardener or is taking care of their plants, and also their kids might want to, you know, swing on the swing while someone is grilling hot dogs or hamburgers. Something that you also might have noticed is that instead of me using a fence to go all the way around the lot, I actually just used these shrub things because I felt like it gave it more of a softer appearance for the perimeter of the house. I did also add a couple gates on the side so that for you to walk in and walk through to the back, you have these little gates, and they're very whimsical and just cute and just remind me so much of childhood. I filmed the inside of the house being built and decorated as well, so if you guys want to see that, please let me know. But unfortunately, I did lose the upstairs portion footage. That was just not even recorded, apparently, but I do have the downstairs recorded. The good news is that this is already on the gallery. If you would like to go ahead and download it for yourself, I will leave all of the details in the description for you. But yeah, if you would like to see a part 2 for at least the downstairs that was built, just let me know, because I can get that edited and uploaded pretty quickly. In the future, I would really love to have a speed build from start to finish, make it about an hour long, and do a voiceover for it so that it is an easy listening / podcast kind of vibe. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there that love those types of videos, me included. That is definitely something that I am going to try to do next time. As I start to wrap up the last few details, I do just need to let you guys know if you guys have any requests of certain types of builds that you want, or a style of house in particular that you would like to see, just let me know in the comments. And lastly, I wanted to invite you guys to go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you like my voice, or you like these style of videos, or if there's some way that I can serve you in the future. I would love to know. But leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.